Morning. Howdy. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I don't know, me, it's Derrick. And today I want to talk about starting points. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this is because this is like the third or fourth time I've maybe had this discussion over the weekend. The others you'll hear on a podcast that I just started. The podcast is available on anchor.com. I'll leave a link below where you can pick it up. And, I'm really excited about it because it's going to hopefully be a way for me to work through a few of the things that have been happening, while I've been on this journey, and hopefully, also inspire and help others, as they are on this journey also, where they can, as I grow, you can also do so. So that's kind of the point of this here. Kind of like a relaunching, of life in a sense. And, it's something that, I know that we see a lot with, life and people, is that we, where we're going, but we don't necessarily, fully go. We just kind of continue trotting along, and even as the parts break down, we trot along. Even as we are like, hey, we're just doing whatever, we're just going to trot along. You're either running or you're not. And it doesn't matter if your shoe's untied, or it doesn't matter if your shoe even comes off, you're still running. It doesn't matter if your leg's broken, you're still running. And at some point, you have to stop running. And you have to heal. And, you get your time and you heal, from whatever's there. And then at some point, when you're healing, you have to kind of pick up and restart. If you're the car, if you're the NASCAR, you're pulling the pit row, and they do the pit changes, they switch out your tires, they give you gas, they fix whatever needs to be fixed, so you can continue your race. So if you're the racer, if you're the runner and you break your leg, you know what? You gotta stop, put on a cast, and you gotta, heal that leg. If your shoe's untied, you need to stop for a second, tie your shoe, so you can continue. If you're jogging along, in the neighborhood, it's probably best not to jog along and let your shoes just flop off, because you're in the neighborhood. You might need that shoe later. So stop for a second. Heal that shoe. It's just a second. And then you make that your new starting point. And it's something that, I've kind of dealt with, as I said, throughout my journey. And, I've always tried to find endpoints and, okay, I need to end here, I need to end here. Because I've been trotting along, in the sense that we all have. We are taught basically to be scared, that you are in a race for survival. You are always need to be moving, you're taught to be paranoid of everything that's going on outside and everyone. And, you're taught to basically always panic and run. It's weird, but this is what, we see in, a lot of our lives here is, just run away from things. And that's not what your life is. Your life is not about just running. Your life is about actually getting out and, growing. You can only run for so long, and at some point you need to stop, heal, and grow. So, that's just something that I've talked about in this podcast here. And, there's a few things really that have kind of helped me with my personal, restart. I'm going to share a few of these things with you here. First thing is going to be, I've had a few gifts, as we'll see here. Headphones for one, in that it's allowed me a bit of way to have a voice with the microphone there. This is actually a Christmas gift that I got from a friend, and this goes in two parts. In that it's a journal that I really haven't started to use yet. I will, but it has a little saying on there. I think you guys remember that. Just being able to, express and, and that sort of support, has been something I've been kind of thankful for here along my journey. So, keep all that coming and great. But also, a bit of looking inward, a bit of, perspective and a bit of just self-discovery, trying to figure out the things that, I need to personally do and change. I'm sure a few of you are wondering where the mirror is at for this talk, and this is the old favorite mirror that I still haven't hung up yet. Use it for haircuts, which I probably need to have one soon, but right now it's going to just sit here and be the mirror in the house. But yeah, just being able to kind of look myself in the mirror a little bit and say, hey, Derrick, let's, make yourself a better human being. Let's do things better. Hey, Derrick, this is what you've done wrong. Hey, Derrick, maybe you should, speak more, speak less. Maybe you have the issue here, I'm trying to, it's just better the image that I'm seeing from the person that I see there. The sort of self-reflection that happens with a lot of, that's been a good gift to have. And also the gifts of, the other people, that are in life here. This is another one that I actually got from the same lovely young lady who gave me the headphones. Love you. But in here, I'm starting to collect a few things that, I think will be sort of helpful along the way. One of these things is that, I want to begin doing more sketch work. Just because, I want to be able to, and I really love the fact that this is kind of a painted sort of deal, because I wanted to just kind of do more painted sketch work where I could just kind of express what's going on in my being. I'm really into doing glass art, and I'm actually, because I don't feel like going to get the big stuff, this is probably one of the first glass pieces that I made here. It's a really nice piece, but glass art's not really cheap. So I just recently, over the past couple of months, got into, doing some just basic painting at home, just so that I could, experience a few things. And the thing that kind of led me into this is I recently painted a portrait, and I hadn't really been able to share a lot of with this portrait, with what was coming out with it. I hadn't been able to share where I did it or when, but I did this maybe last month at some point here. I did a ceremony that was really for opening up and cleansing, and that's what I have in the painting here. The ceremony here, what you'll see is the basics of a sweat lodge. And to understand what a sweat lodge is that you say that it's kind of a rebirth in a sense. It's like a Native American thing. I'm sure other cultures have something similar. A sauna even for you ladies. But the idea, I think it's I won't try to. I won't try to say that. But I think that it's a thing where you go in and it becomes a new sort of beginning for you, a starting point, in a sense. And I've tried to use just that and, some other things within my life, as always being these sort of new starts. Not only the ceremony, but just, the creation of the art. Because this was like 6 months apart. Yeah, this and this are like 6 months apart. So this is like the first one. This is maybe like the third. This is what's coming next. But it's a starting point for me. And, a lot of things are just becoming that. Getting back to this book here, while I was getting some materials for that there, I happened to stumble upon this art gallery downtown, Creative Clay, and they have a really good art gallery, by the way. They do art with special needs people will come in and, amazing pieces. Actually sell for far more than my two over here do. But, it's really cool, really cool place too, really cool vibe. They always have little workshops and things going on throughout the day, throughout the week. And on the second Saturday of each month in St. Petersburg, there's something called Art Walk where they're open. So I was able to just go in one Saturday to check out. Inside the place, they also have a store in there. I think it's like Creative Soul is what it's called, I believe. And the store is a pay what you want donation store. And, I was very sort of, intrigued by, the idea of being able to go, as I say, because glass art's not cheap. So, hey, I need some stuff where I can make this on the cheap, like on the cheap. All right, I'll go check your little store out. Yeah, whatever, $5-10, here's some paint, here's some supplies, whatever. And I see in the corner, there's this, underneath this stuff, there's a piano there. At least what looked like a piano. I wasn't too sure. I was like, was that a piano? So, restart. Starting points. Take 2. So I'm downtown. There's this beautiful store downtown, St. Petersburg. And it's called Creative Clay. And they have this little store inside called Creative Soul. And inside of Creative Soul, they have what is known as a pay-as-you-wish art store in there, where they have art supplies on sale. And I'm with the art supplies in there, and it's a couple months back, and I happen to notice this piano. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a piano. There's no way it can work. But it works. It's an electric piano. Wait, you just plug it in and turn it on. It works. But there's no way because it's inside of the, so they have to have a set price for it. I'll just ask. Oh, you'll take whatever But there's no way. Like, I even brought some. They're like, did you bet? No, I didn't, I haven't asked, I've not given them, The piano's sitting right over there. And the reason why, I wanted to bring that home is because I wanted to have in my life a new starting point. I wanted to have a place where I could begin again, with different things, and one of those things being music. I'm actually very lucky, if you want to say, even say blessed, to know what these things mean. Like I can read that, and I can walk over to that there, hopefully with some practice in a few weeks. Maybe there'll be a video of that later, and I can tell you what all that says. But it's a starting point. So I'm really wanting to make sure that, we all see this. And I'm, excited about, the podcast and everything, because I want to make sure that, this is something that's said and heard. I think it's very important, for all of us in healing. And there's something else, actually. And this was the reason why I wanted to do the video part of this last night when I was recording the podcast. I said, hey, I have to go back and, other than I just haven't really spoken to anyone. I mean, Facebook fam, you're actually going to get a treat because Derrick gets out of jail in a couple days. I know you've been dealing with Roger Bravestrong, but, YouTube fam, I haven't even spoken to y'all in a while. And, so, I wanted to just do something here, where we could all see it. And it's just something that I really kind of thought of last night when I was doing this podcast. And I wanted to make sure that you all saw this, because this is the main message, Even if you don't listen to the podcast and you just watch the video here, this is what you need to know. Each day is a starting point. Each moment is a starting point. When you wake up in the morning and you open your curtains and you say, today I will create more, that is a starting point. Okay? Pause for a second. That was a starting point. That right there was a starting point. This right now is a starting point. Like, I'm going to count down here. And when we reach that point there, make that your next starting point if you need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Starting point. Whatever you're changing right now, make it your starting point. Love you all.